Memphis, St. Paul, St. Louis, and in a few he's going to be at locations like Cleveland, Seattle, and Portland. This man is dedicated to the community, dedicated to activism. I'm telling y'all, I know him. One of the realest dudes I know. Keep it 100 all the time. So without further ado, y'all welcome Maj Toure.
Y'all can hear me? Y'all can hear me now? Yeah. Good. 215.
Black Guns Matter.
Absolutely. So, we're going to do this different. I can't serve y'all if I can't really answer the questions that you got. Me getting up here giving y'all a speech, whatever. If I can't give you some information that's going to assist you, because you're on the precipice. First and foremost, y'all are some of the most courageous people I know, especially people from the hood walking around with them hats on.
Yes, that's right.
With that being the case, y'all more so than anybody have to have an understanding of the Second Amendment. Have to have an understanding of the natural right to defend your life if need be. We in like really, really beautiful and troubling times at the same time, right? What I don't want to happen with all of this political activity and energy and, you know, free thinking, what I don't want us to get left behind is our natural right to self-defense.
Right.
Okay? That's a critical moment. That's a critical stand. Because one of the things that they'll let us, a lot of different things is, oh yeah, switch politics, walk away, but leave those guns there. Don't be responsible. When the Second Amendment was written, you was considered 3/5 of a person, which isn't factually accurate, by the way.
Last.
So, with all these things, people, I don't care if you're not old enough to lawfully carry right now. You need the information and you need to ask whatever question you have. We got a short period of time, so that's the best way that I can serve y'all. Okay? When I usually say this, everybody, when I say, who has the first question? Nobody wants to raise their hand. This is a no judgment zone. This is a psychological safe space. You might not know a lot about firearms, the Second Amendment, the state constitution. Well, DC is not really a state, but state constitution, the Bill of Rights, all of those things are necessary, right? So whatever questions you got right now, I'm gonna run through them.
I got a question.
What's up?
Can you discuss Justice Clarence Thomas's stance on the?
When you want the question, they're gonna bring you the mic.
All right. Good morning, everybody.
What's up?
My question is: can you please discuss Justice Clarence Thomas's opinion in the Chicago gun case? I think that would be a.
What's the opinion for people that don't know?
Oh, okay. It's not my turn. Okay, so there was a few years ago, Chicago banned all guns. And so a guy named Mr. McDonald, an older black gentleman, put this took it to the courts, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court, and they overturned it, and now we have gun rights in Chicago again.
Absolutely.
So Justice Thomas's opinion in the case stated, literally verbatim, the Negro must be armed.
Yep.
The last civil rights movement for the Negro is the arms movement, because we were systematically excluded from that after 1881 when Hayes removed the troops from the South. So once the troops were removed, the Klan was formed, and then they changed laws to make sure that black people couldn't own guns. Yep. And Justice Thomas, because a lot of times people call him, a house.
The same stuff
they call us. But that was such a radical statement to be written into a Supreme Court opinion
on it?
No, I wanted you to just speak. I didn't want to talk about it. I just wanted you to bring it up.
Absolutely. So, what she brought up is an excellent thank you for going first. What size shirt you wear? Hey, give her a medium. Wait, show them what the shirt say first. So here's the thing. I bet y'all gonna ask questions now. So, what Justice Thomas was talking about, first and foremost, this is the wave. All gun control is racist.
Yes.
All of it.
Woo!
Right? Now, some of y'all might have seen me floating around here earlier with that hoodie on. I took it off because people was looking at me scared. With that being the case, the origin, at a certain point, all of America was a constitutional carry country. Every state that you went to, if you could lawfully have a firearm, conceal it or not, or open carry it. All of America was constitutional carry. Emancipation, black people, us, fought for our liberation, right? From systematic tyranny. Then here comes the rules. Oh, we gotta have special rules now for guns. That is the origin of all gun control in America. My white friends, you are collateral damage in that too. Okay? The Second Amendment clearly states at the end, shall not be infringed.
Right. Right.
This entire time that you're here, I want you to bootleg. See my man over there, he bootlegging, live streaming the whole joint. As long as you can hold your arm up, two things. One, all of the things that I'm saying to you, stump me. If I'm wrong, cut me in the middle of the sentence. Call me out. Don't use Google, use DuckDuckGo. Thank me later. And whatever you want to record, record it. The information is, don't just use your smartphone to do dumb stuff. Okay? The entire time, record everything as long as you can. I don't know what your workout schedule like. As long as you can hold your arm up, record everything. Right here, sister. Yeah. So the question, go ahead, ask me.
Do you ever think they're gonna change laws to people that's felons that have non-low violent crimes to carry?
I'm gonna make them.
Please.
So my question is, should or do I think that they're ever? That's kind of a yes, they are going to, because we're going to make that happen. Right. With that being the case, let me explain that to some of y'all that aren't aware. Currently, if you are convicted of any felony, you are barred from lawfully. Key word, it's illegal are two different things. You need a Black's Law Dictionary, by the way. With that being the case, right now, I see the hands, 1, 2, 3, 4, I got y'all. With that being the case, the question is, do we think that that should be changed? I'm going to restructure that question a little. Okay? Yes. Again, the Second Amendment says, shall not be infringed. That is a human right. When the Founding Fathers of this nation, with the contradictions that they had, because there was contradictions, right? Y'all still with me? Why y'all ain't telling me? So, is that it? With that being the case, the Founding Fathers, while they had very contradictory things going on, a lot of them, all men are created equal, but I got slaves. Quick question, look it up. What is one of the Founding Fathers that was anti-slavery in word and in deed, that never owned African people? Look it up on your phone. Do smart things on your smartphones while I explain it. Second Amendment goes into a list of amendments. When the Founding Fathers to this nation wrote that Bill of Rights, that was a double down on the Constitution. There was people called the Anti-Federalists that were like, yo, this Constitution seems to still be reaching into human rights and natural liberties. So they said, well, let's write a whole nother list of amendments, because if Americans get dumb in 100 years, you refer back to these and go, hey, these are things not given by government. Your right to freedom of speech is not given or taken away by government. Your right to defend your life is not given or taken away by government. The reason why that information is not put in our schools, schools in America, public schools, so forth and so on, is because if you don't have a civic understanding of that Constitution and that Bill of Rights, you don't feel any attachment to it. You don't care what happens to it. They can win by attrition and you're getting flanked on all sides. So we fast forward to the point of the question. Do I think that there should be a space where nonviolent felons should have their right to defend their lives? Yes, I do. I do a crime, I go to jail. That's my debt to society. I come home. Why are you now still hamstringing me from gainful employment, stopping me from voting locally? It's game. It's game. So, one of the quick ways that we can do it, stop shopping at Walmart and tell them that's the reason why. Pick a day and say, hey, and I'm just spitballing. Some people only respect money and violence. So you attack their money violently. So if everybody I like Walmart, no this to Walmart, I'm just picking a name, right? Coca-Cola, McDonald's, doesn't matter. We are not in this state, in this city, are not on Tuesdays. We are not spending money because we do not think that non-violent felons that have paid their debt to society should not have their voice heard in voting and should have their voices heard in voting, and they have the right to defend their life. That's my view on it. Next question. So someone right here. Go ahead, my man, because you threw your hand up. She got a shirt? Go ahead.
One, I was going to ask the question. It was Hamilton, right? And then two, just your thoughts on
Hamilton and T-Pain.
All right. Two, I was wondering about the other thing I was wondering was just, isn't DC's extremely absurd gun laws here unconstitutional?
Absolutely it is. It's a human rights violation. It is a human right violation. Be very clear. Your human and natural right, based on the framework of this place that we call America, number 2, not number 18, number 2, 1 is I get to say what I want, 2, I get to defend what I just said. That is a list of natural rights to stop someone from that ability to defend their life in the most productive way is a human rights violation. Who next? Damn, y'all. Give him a shirt. What size you? Go ahead, right here. All right, look, we're going to do it this way. If you got a question, stand up. Wait. At one at a time. Go ahead, brother.
I'm sorry. So, do you think harder gun laws directly impact like school shootings or mass shootings?
Do I think that more restrictive gun laws, mass school shootings, you mean positively or negatively? You think it's going to be more or less?
Like, the more hard it is to get a gun.
So,
less.
So no. The question is, do I think that if we created more laws that the bad guys don't follow, right? Would that stop more, mass school shootings? So one, mass shootings account for, and I'm not justifying it, it's trauma. And we need to heal, right? We deal with conflict resolution and de-escalation in our classes at Black Lives Matter. Would that be the case? Less than 1% of shootings in America are mass shootings. Television, looking at you, CNN, television makes it heightened to scare you into giving your rights away. We need safety. There's another famous, founding father or crafter of this nation that said, Mark, what did he say about liberty and security?
Give up your liberty, secure your freedom.
If you give up your liberty to secure your freedom, you don't deserve either. You know what's the safest place in America? Prisons. Prisons. You have no liberty in prison. So no. So that's the first thing. No. The second part of that is, I got you next, sis. The second part of that is, there was a young man at the time named Biden. His last name was Biden. And he created this list of things, like bills, that he wanted to get pushed through. And one of them, that another guy named Bill pushed through, I think his last name was Clinton or something like that. They pushed forward this thing called gun-free zones. In 1991, something like that. When those bills got passed, since that time, 90% of those mass shootings are in gun-free zones. It's a contradiction. It does not work. So adding more rules to stop these law-abiding people in here from defending themselves from the bad guys, it's never going to make sense. You know the school shooter, the movie theater shooter in Colorado, you know how many movie theaters he drove past to pick the movie theater that he shot up? Wow. 6. You know why he picked the 7th one? Because it was a gun-free zone. Come on. The other ones were larger, had more people, but people probably had that thing on them in there. Right. It's hard to find somebody you know got a gun if you're a coward. So, that's what happened. It does not work. We're making our children very, very active targets. Right? Larry Sharpe, who's running for governor of New York, has this thing that I like that he says about, what if we didn't just, you know, because the other question is, oh, so are you saying you give the, you know, teachers all get guns? I believe that if the teacher wants to be armed and he or she is lawfully able to do so, who better as a last line of defense to protect our babies? However, what if the shooter knows who the person is that has the gun? Security guard, whatever, they shoot that guy or girl first, right? What if you don't know who's armed? It might be the janitor, it might be the teacher, it might be security. You don't know. How does that give a psychopath the ability to plan? It takes it away. You see what I'm saying? So no, more rules won't solve that. More freedom will. It sits right there. After she asked the question, wait, listen. This is the system of rules. I got you next, my brother in the back. So listen, this is the system. This is the matrix that we're creating for you. After that person sits down, the next person that wants to ask the question, whoever gets up first, that's who I'm going with. But you have to stand up. Fair?
Fair. How you doing, brother?
What's up, sister? How you, queen?
How you doing, king? I'm from Chi-Town, and my question is, I mean, I had a lot of trauma with the whole gun situation. I had a cousin that was shot and killed.
Yeah.
I've been shot at a few times. I was held up with a Tech 9.
Did you shoot
once.
back?
No, because we weren't armed, of course. Okay. So my question for you is, can you touch on the violence in the black community in Chicago and how arming us would actually benefit us? Because all I know is that, you know, it's so much gangs and there's so much crime and there's so much killing, and I don't know how, like, putting more guns into the community will help us. I mean, listening to you, I can see how it would, but I would like you to expound on that. Absolutely. I have the answer for that. Good question. So, boom, who's first? Go after. All right, I got you. I got you. He said he has to. He's speaking it into existence. So one, most of the places in America that are constitutional carry, which means if you can lawfully purchase a firearm, you can conceal it or open carry it without extra paperwork and more infringements on your human right to self-defense. Those places that have those type of respect for freedoms have notoriously lower violent crime rates. Yeah. Chicago has all of the gun control. Yes. That's why they have all of the homicides. Yeah. Because if I'm the bad guy, if there's 10 people in the room, it's probability. It's percentages. 5 of them, if they don't look a certain way, I'm willing to roll the dice that 5 of them probably not going to be straight. If I'm a coward, I get the upper hand because I got the firearm and the other person doesn't. Like the sister right there that shared her trauma. They pulled the tech on her. One, she was not doing anything that showed she's probably armed or situational awareness may have not been on point. But they're going to look for that soft target. At our classes, we don't get Antifa protesters. We don't get... So when you create a culture with a gang of bad guys that are all saying it's a safe bet, no different than if I'm a rapist, oh, I can get away with this all day. There's no women in D.C. going to arm themselves and shoot them in the face, which you should. You're not going to do that. Your politicians have hamstringed you to a space of, like they're trying to make you a marshmallow. Tasty, soft, lunch meat. So in that scenario in Chicago, when there's 1,000 guys, right? There's 1,000 of the same bad guys doing the same thing over and over and over again, and there's no physical deterrent, it's going to keep going. Now, if you have a space where there's armed individuals that are trained and responsible, I'm not saying, you get a gun, you get a gun, you get a gun. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you want to exercise that right, there's 1,000 responsibilities that come along with it. Right? Go ahead.
It was just reported that a suspect is in custody after a Pittsburgh single gun shooting.
Bang. Got him. Outstanding. With that being the case, Chicago is suffering from an issue of post-traumatic stress, no conflict resolution, no de-escalation. I moved to Chicago from May to June to just do conflict resolution. And for like the one weekend that right before I left, like right after I left, there was no homicides for that one holiday weekend where it's usually yard out. Wait, don't clap yet, because we left for a while because there was no consistent system of conflict resolution and de-escalation in place. The numbers went up. That's an answer. Got 5 minutes. Who next? My man right here. Wait, I know. I said him. All right, wait. I got you. I promise. Him. You didn't speak it into existence. I got you. Go ahead. Real quick.
So I'm from Atlanta. I'm from some of the toughest parts of Atlanta: Cleveland Avenue, Boulevard, Pittsburgh, West End.
Okay.
Many times I've used guns to protect myself and
Yeah.
people with me.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons I came to this conference is because I want to get active in Chicago. I don't profess to know the political climate in Chicago. I don't.
It's trash.
But that violence has touched every single last one of our doors. As a black man from the hood who keep it on me, I don't think we're having the right conversation in Chicago saying put down the guns. Can we have more conversation around gun safety, educating young black men how to properly use guns instead of saying put down the guns? I think that's a bad narrative.
So real quick, I ain't never telling nobody to put down no guns. Nope. Ever. Be very clear. I'm gonna say, pick it up, be responsible, defend your life. Period. Brother in the back, I got you. You, come on, I just was going through it. Let you go. Yeah. Go. Wait, is everybody getting their shirts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take 2 of them.
Go ahead.
So I live in California. I'm waiting
Sorry
for
to
my-
hear that.
Hey, but still representing Cali. So I'm applying for my exposed arms permit.
Yeah.
And there's a test that I have to take, which is classified as a personality test. It asks things like, do you like talking to people or do you prefer being by yourself? Do you, when you're angry, do you stay quiet or do you go and share your feelings? What do you think about these type of tests as requirements before you get an exposed arms permit? And if they would help or hurt?
The test is game. The test is game is to come up with a bunch of different hoops and hurdles for you to jump through to figure out how they can convince you that it's cool that they infringed on your right to self-defense. That's what the answer is. It's all a setup. Real quick, everybody that has the question, keep standing up. I'm gonna go from front to back. Back. My fault. Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, how you doing, brother? How much time I got left? 9. All right, real quick. Go, yeah.
So I'm from Northwest Jefferson.
What up?
And as you know how the jungles go up here in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I have a brother. I believe in Second Amendment. I believe in the right to carry. But I have my oldest brother. Like he's seen one of his little brothers get murdered and like left somewhere.
I'm respecting your trauma, but I want to try to get as many people as possible.
My question is, when you see people like who get to that point where they get to it's like, I don't want to carry a gun, I don't want to see a gun, be around guns because they've seen or been through like gun trauma.
Yeah.
How do you like not break them out of that, but how do you like get them back to a point where it's like you
I don't.
protect yourself?
I don't.
No.
I respect their trauma and help them heal. The last thing they need right now is me to even talk about gun. You gotta respect their trauma. Elder than you, and then her. My fault, y'all. I'm just picking everybody. Go ahead.
I don't think we need to train black men how to use a gun.
Okay.
We belong to the greatest military that this world's ever seen.
Okay.
And although we're 8% of the population, we make up 25% of the baddest military in the world.
Okay.
So if we can protect Afghanistan, and we can protect South Korea,
Yeah.
why can't we come home and protect our women and kids from Phuket area?
Okay. So, wait. I'm about to stop you all of you. Let me be very clear with what you said, and we're going to leave on that note. And I'm going to give you 2 shirts for, if you said what I think you said at the beginning, I'm going to give you 2 shirts for what I'm about to do to you. Did you say you do not believe that we need to train young black men to be armed?
We're already trained. We're already trained.
Wait. Firearms in America are not at the sole discretion or ownership of law enforcement and military.
That's true.
They are for the people.
I didn't say ownership, I said trained.
Well, if you own it, you should be trained. Do you drive? Do you drive a car?
I'm already trained in the military.
You are. But wait. I can't carry you on my hip.
And go and get permit to carry a
Oh,
gun.
I'm agreeing with you on that.
I'm already permitted.
I'm agreeing with him on the whole concept of those extras, all of those extra. What I'm disagreeing with is if you ain't in the military, you ain't law enforcement, all right, cool. What I'm saying is I do think that every young person in this room should get a firearm, should be trained, should be responsible, and protect your family. I'm out of here.
I see what you're saying. For the old man? Yeah. It sounds like a police state type deal.
Nas killed a lot. And I gotta say this. I'm gonna say this part because I was law enforcement. And I'll tell you what.
I know it's choppy. I know it's choppy.
Let me help y'all real quick.
It's okay. You can hear it.
I was law